Hello and welcome to the Revolut Insider Podcast, where we explore Revolut's rocket ship from the inside out, one episode at a time. I'm your host, Alex Carril, and joining me today is João Duarte, team lead for financial crime support. Hi, João. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. And how are you, Alex? Thank you so much for having me here.
I'm doing great. Thank you for being here today. I really appreciate it. I want to talk to you a bit more about being a team lead for our financial crime unit, which falls under the support department to help customers. And you're also a part of the committee of our Pride Guild, which is the business resource group here at Revolut for LGBTQIA plus employees. And what I'm gathering from all of this, João, is that you really enjoy helping people.
Most definitely. I've been helping people, or at the very least working specifically on helping people for quite a time, social working and all that. And I would say it rather comes from my parents, and who always educated me that way to actually try and help people and never look at them in a different way. So yeah, I guess it comes from my childhood.
Yeah. Well, I know that being a guild member isn't directly helping people, let's say, but there's still an element of that support and care that goes into communicating and organizing activities with other Revoluters for other Revoluters around the world.
Yeah, most definitely.
Now, you help people through providing support when we detect a potential instance of financial crime. Can you give me an overview of what you do as a team lead for the financial crime department?
So I basically do a bit of everything, and that's one of the reasons I really enjoy working in fin crime. It's really never monotonous, and no day is ever the same. My primary responsibility is to ensure that my team efficiently handles cases where financial crime is suspected. My team never fails me, and honestly, I must say they are wonderful, and I couldn't be luckier to have them. I provide my agents with the proper tools and training to follow our procedures and to meet our metrics. All I ask of them is to give their best on chat and just to deliver wow. Our imperative is security, we really focus on security, and we really want it to be the paramount of the Revolut.
Of course. And that's really what goes into delivering wow, right? Keeping customers safe and secure with how they do money. What would you say is the overall goal of the fin crime department apart from that?
Our overall goal is to proactively identify and mitigate any financial threats. So that's exactly what we focus, and that's the goal that we want to achieve. Mm-hmm. So basically, by employing advanced security systems and having a very dedicated team, that's what we are, we aim to prevent fraud before it actually impacts our customers. We work tirelessly around the clock to prevent potential fraud, implement security measures, and educate our customers on how to keep their accounts secure. That's, I would say the overall goal.
I feel like that's also what's needed for any financial institution, kind of the basic, right?
Yeah.
We want to make sure that accounts are safe, that our financial institution is looking out for us, is proactively keeping an eye on things so that we can go about our business and spend every day the way that we like to, right? And save. We want to do that too.
And feel safe. And feel safe.
That's part of it. Exactly. Especially as customers start to transition and using Revolut as their primary account, we want to make sure that we have that trust, that it's in everything we do, because it is.
Exactly.
Yeah. And how does a company as large as Revolut fight against financial crime and protect millions of customers around the world?
Well, at Revolut, we employ a multifaceted approach to combat financial crime. That's, I would say, the basic answer to this. This includes automated fraud detection systems, regular audits, a collaboration with our financial regulators. Our team is constantly evolving our strategies to stay ahead of potential threats and to protect our global customer base.
And this team is around the world.
Of course. So we have a dedicated team of experts who review flagged cases and work with customers to resolve any issues as swiftly as possible. Sometimes these might lead to temporary limitations on their accounts as safety measures, but we are committed to delivering a wow experience and clearing up any issue as quickly as possible.
And the team is available 24/7.
Yeah, of course they are.
I'll talk about delivering a wow experience. And as a team lead, João, what do you think is the most important thing to convey to your team when working directly with customers?
So if my team hears this, they're probably gonna laugh because they've heard me say it countless times, but I will say it again for everyone. Independence and empathy are key. Why these two values, you might ask? Independence is crucial because knowing our procedures by heart allow us to provide solutions to our customers as swiftly as possible. And I keep telling them that because for me, it's really important that they really embody this value. Mm-hmm. And empathy is equally essential because in a financial crime team, you have to put yourself in the shoes of the customer. you have to have this mindset where you understand the problems that they are facing, and you need to incorporate that in your answer to whatever they might ask you.
When you can listen, not just to your customers, but in life, I feel like you have more of an opportunity to learn what's happening and to be able to provide solutions that you need to in kind of any situation.
Plus, we don't want to sound robotic on chat, of course. We just really want to sound like, actual
People.
people trying to help you.
Exactly. People helping people.
Yeah, exactly.
My first job was at a clothing store, and later I went into banking, but I remember how customers can sometimes act when things don't necessarily go their way, or there might be an issue with something. And I think that's especially true in the financial services environment when we're talking about people's money. How do you motivate team members when they're working with customers through some difficult situations?
So I would say that specifically, I'm of course going to talk about my team. From top to bottom, has an amazing attitude towards work. I don't want to brag, of course, but that's exactly how I feel. In a management team, we always try to listen to the opinions and feelings of our agents and share our approach to work, always with a smile and with a joke ready. I believe this really helps with their motivation. As for my team specifically, I'm always there if they have doubts, if they need someone to listen to them, or if they even require extra training. However, as I mentioned previously, I really value independence, and which for me, I believe it's a key skill to work at Revolut. Because of that, I strive to develop this skill in them and want them to grow professionally as soon as they are comfortable. At Revolut, there are ample opportunities for career growth and development. They heard me say multiple times, come on, let's get those KPIs up, because I just want you off my team. And of course, it's a joke, and I really value them and I really like them in my team, but it's also a truth. It's very rewarding to watch them grow and take advantage of growth opportunities within the company, whether if it is to move into roles like quality, customer experience manager, or even team leaders. Like I have currently people from my team that just grew up, are now currently team leaders and are working side by side to me.
That's great to see that development and know you're part of that journey for other people. Again, helping people, right? Helping people grow.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's really, really important. People have that opportunity, which I wouldn't say that normally in other companies, there's this kind of culture. But in Revolut, you really feel this culture of you're good. You show that you're good. You really want this, you grow. And that's really amazing.
Yeah. It's that never settle spirit, but deliver wow and you get rewarded.
Exactly.
So what skills have you learned at Revolut that have helped you to be successful in your role?
Well, that's a good question. I've developed strong analytical and problem-solving skills, I would say, which help me a lot in assess and address complex situations. Additionally, my ability to empathize and connect with both customers and team members, which of course really helped me when I was only a chat agent, has been a key factor on achieving actually good results.
And you mentioned these analytical skills, which I think that for Revolut, which is so data-driven, it's really imperative to have those data skills or to develop them, right? So I think as a new person coming into Revolut, a piece of advice that I have for new Revoluters is try to develop your data analysis skills or make sure that you apply them to what you're doing because we want to see these results, right? We want to see how you can show your hard work that you're doing.
To be honest, I do enjoy a lot the data-driven culture because you can prove your hard work. Above all, like it's there.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Numbers don't lie.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, on that note, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, João, I want to talk to you about being a member of the committee of our Pride Guild here at Revolut.
See you soon.
All right. We'll be right back with more Insider Views. Did you know you can use your Revolut app to make a charitable donation? Choose from a huge selection of charities and effortlessly donate money with a tap. Charities get 100% of your donation so you can feel good knowing that your whole contribution goes straight to the cause you care about. Do some good with Revolut. We're back on the Revolut Insider Podcast with João Duarte, who's a team lead for the Financial Crime Department here at Revolut. Welcome back.
Hi, everyone, again.
So, João, you're a member of the Pride Guild and you're actually part of the committee. Can you tell me a bit about this business resource group that we have here at Revolut and what's the goal? How have you helped activate employees?
Yeah, sure. The Pride at Revolut Guild is an excellent community here at Revolut. For some, of course, it can be just another Slack group. But for others, it's basically a safe space where they can ask questions, they can share their thoughts, or even have new friends and meet new people. We have a group of dedicated individuals working to support our community as much as we can. I would like to shout out our chair, Johan, and other members of our committee, Kat, Zachary, Tiago, and Valentin, just to name a few. Our aim is to create a supportive and inclusive environment for the LGBTQIA plus employees, promoting awareness and visibility. We work on various projects, such as educational campaigns and social events, to engage and unite our community.
Yeah, I always see these nice little posts come up for awareness days and special LGBTQIA plus visibility days, which is nice to engage and have these moments of conversation. I remember on Asexual Awareness Day, that was a great conversation starter for a lot of people where employees felt like a safe space and share their own experiences being ace.
That was specifically a post that I really enjoyed because a lot of people engaged, and some ACE people met other ACE people, and they found that there are others and that they can feel safe with their identities and that they can share their feelings, which is amazing. And yes, that's exactly the purpose of our group.
And be respected for sharing your experiences as well.
Exactly.
Can you tell me a bit about your role in the guild?
Yeah, so basically my role in the Pride Guild is more focused on helping our employees. So trying to work with HR to create more inclusive policies and be the safe person for them to talk to, enhance the safe space that Revolut already provides, and ensure our employees have a safe person to talk and raise their concerns. Given my background in social work, I feel very comfortable and excited about this.
I feel like this role suits you perfectly.
Thank you so much. I just want to be the person that people feel safe with. They can share their thoughts. They can share how they feel regarding certain situations. So I can direct them to HR or work with them to try and solve it.
So you're basically a liaison within the group. So people that might not feel comfortable talking to HR, they can talk to you first.
And I'll help them.
Yeah, I love that. And after talking with you and mentioning your upbringing, your parents being that positive influence on you to help people, and also how you help to support customers, it makes sense that you have this supportive role to embrace and help other Revolut members as well.
Yeah, in the past, I've worked already with LGBTQIA plus people, and that basically already gave me this, I would say, sense of commitment to the cause. And I personally feel at home working on this role.
Can you tell me a bit more about your experience in this field working with LGBTQIA people in the past?
So basically, I have a background in social work. Before joining Revolut, I worked with various nonprofits focused on homelessness, migration, LGBTQIA plus rights and support. I even founded an LGBTQIA plus association in Portugal.
Wow.
Just to improve the lives of my local community, because that's something I really felt it was necessary, especially in the south of Portugal.
That's incredible.
These experiences gave me a solid foundation in understanding the challenges faced by these communities, which often overlap more than we think, and how to basically address these actual challenges.
Yeah.
While working in the guild is definitely different, it's not social working in any possible way. I truly enjoy being there for people, ensuring they're heard, providing support. It's important to me that everyone knows that there is someone out there for them.
And I think especially for members of the LGBTQIA plus community, where community is so important, right? A lot of chosen family, choosing the people to have around us in our lives. Why do you think it's important to be active in a community, whatever that community may mean to you?
Yeah, of course. To put it simply, community gives us a sense of belonging. Because of that, community is vital for the LGBTQIA+, because it fosters connection and solidarity. Being active in a community means you have access to the support system that can offer guidance, encouragement, and a safe space to share your experiences. To be an active member in our community, for me, means to shape it for the better.
And I think you're doing it.
Thank you so much.
And how can people get more involved in their local community outside of work?
Well, I would say first things first, search, okay? Depends on where you are living, depends on what you want to do, who you want to help. So quick basic Google search will reveal a lot of associations, charities, nonprofits. They normally need volunteers. I personally would say that volunteering is what associations mostly need. Additionally, participating in community events, local fairs, cleanup drives, town meetings, food banks can help individuals connect with others and recharge outside their professional life, which is very important. And I think it's really quite positive.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of people might not know where to start, so that's great advice. And I think it really starts with just searching, see what's in your area, maybe even dedicate one day a month just so you can go and do something for other people.
Yeah. As Revolut would say, get it done.
Visit your local community center, get it done.
Exactly.
I wanted to ask you, João, a lot of times we see company floats and pride parades, and it seems like almost an endless line of corporate sponsors, let's say. What's your view on that?
Okay, my view of it, the more the merrier. I know I might get some pushback on this, but this is my honest view. We already have too many enemies. So the more support, the better. A lot of people will probably talk about like pink money, for instance. They will say that the associations and nonprofits are selling themselves to capitalism and all that. But we need that support. It's important. In a perfect society, of course, perhaps things would happen in a more organic way, but it doesn't happen that way. So it's important to have that support, and it's really important to have companies next to us.
To have that money.
Exactly. Because we need it.
Exactly, yeah. And this does go to good causes, right? It does go to support the community at the end of the day.
Exactly. For example, Revolut has a section for donations that go entirely for the associations. This is a small yet very impactful action.
What advice do you have for companies who want to make an impact in their communities?
My advice to companies who want to make a more impactful difference is to focus on internal practices, such as fostering an inclusive workplace culture, create policies to protect those who might be more exposed to discrimination, providing resources and support to LGBTQIA plus employees, and partnering with LGBTQIA plus organizations. These actions demonstrate a commitment to inclusivity and support that extends beyond the parade. And so you can have both.
So don't just promote it outside, but really show what you're doing and get it done inside.
Exactly.
And you mentioned creating this safe space inside the company. Why do you think it's important to be as authentic at work as possible?
Well, honestly, I believe that authenticity at work helps build trust and open communication among colleagues. Personally, for instance, in my team, I'm always cracking jokes. Why? Because I'm just being me at work, and I just really want people to feel at ease. And that really helps. When people feel safe to be themselves, it promotes a culture of honesty and collaboration. It just benefits the entire organization. If someone can express their true selves without any fear of judgment, they'll be more creative and more committed to the cause.
I think you've touched on a great point, is that creativity flows. And I think when you can be yourself, you're more open to collaboration and you get things done faster, I think, because you don't have these guards up that are constantly preventing you from maybe saying the wrong thing or putting yourself in an awkward position. So when you can be your authentic self, you don't have to worry about those things. And your mental capacity is more focused on, like you said, the creativity and getting the work done.
To be honest, in Revolut, I really think that you are not forced to keep a mask. And that, for me, is one of the key points I really like working at Revolut. I don't have to keep a mask. I don't have to hide who I am. I don't have to hide how I deal with issues and situations. I just simply do them. And if they produce a good result, then that's fine. And that's, for me, perfect.
And I think that we're lucky in that sense because we can be ourselves at Revolut. I'm aware that not everyone may be able to have that same luxury. What advice do you have to those who may not feel completely comfortable being their full authentic selves?
Tough question. I would say that take small steps towards authenticity. You don't need to be from one day to another just completely yourself. I think start by sharing a bit about yourself with trusted colleagues and gradually build up your confidence. Remember, it's always important to prioritize your comfort and well-being. At Revolut, we strive to be a safe space. You are not alone, and there are people who can understand and support you.
And I see that in the interaction with the group. I see how people are asking questions. The other day, someone asked about what documents they might need to register their marriage.
Yeah, for sure. And to be honest, it's beautiful to see that people actually can trust a colleague with those questions, because normally you would fear any type of judgment. But in Revolut, you do see that people are really open on sharing how they feel and just what they need to know and just ask you openly. And that's really cool.
Here's a question for you, João. What if somebody wants to come out at work? Do you have any advice or any tips on how to do it?
First things first, it's a very personal decision. And you have to be 100% conscious of why you want to do it and how you want to do it.
Definitely.
That's the first tip I would say to everyone. I can even talk about my personal experience here. At Revolut, I hesitated at coming out because I didn't want that to affect, and that's very common in LGBTQIA plus people in companies. They don't want this to affect their progress. Once I understood that there was a safe community in Revolut and that discrimination was not tolerated, I felt more at ease. And so therefore, slowly I started, coming out to people. Coming out doesn't necessarily mean you have to just say bluntly to everyone, I'm gay, I'm lesbian, I'm bisexual, you can just insert it in conversation. So for instance, what I normally do is when people are talking about their spouses, their girlfriends, their boyfriends, I just say yeah, my husband, and I just continue. And that normally eases it into the conversation. People get to know that little fact about me, but they don't judge me. I've never felt any type of judgment here at Revolut. So I would say, again, Start very calmly. Remember, it's your decision, should be done on your own terms. If you need any guidance on how to approach the conversation, the Pride Guild is also here to help. But yeah, take your time.
And, let's talk specifically about the trans community for a moment, because I feel like there's an important issue around misgendering folks in the workplace. Can you talk a bit about how companies or managers can help employees who may be struggling with being either misgendered or employees might be using their dead name?
Okay. So it's important for managers and the company itself to actively listen and respond to employees' concerns about misgendering or dead naming. For those who are listening and don't know, dead naming is when someone calls a trans person by the name they used before transitioning. To answer your question, I always say that this is a two-way street. Empathy must come from both sides. One party must recognize the importance of respecting and being empathetic towards their peers, while the other party must understand that someone is willing to learn and still make mistakes. My advice to managers is to offer as much support as possible and to embark on this learning journey together. Making necessary adjustments, of course, which would be first start with yourself as a manager, try to not misgender, try to understand what are their pronouns. Even if you make a mistake once or twice, you're making an effort. And in Revolut, we have an easy way because in Slack, you have your pronouns available. So it's very easy for us to look at that and go like, oh, these are the pronouns. I'm just going to use it. By doing this, I'm pretty sure that your agent, they will be able to trust you more. They will be able to feel that you are working with them and trying to embark in this journey together to make it better, basically.
Exactly. And that's the point, right? To create a better and more inclusive environment for everyone.
Exactly.
How do you think LGBTQIA plus employees should approach company policies that may not be directly benefiting them or even potentially affecting them?
Okay, LGBTQIA plus employees should always approach company policies by advocating for themselves and their peers. This is something that I constantly say. I've seen it happen on Revolut. People show that there is a problem that perhaps HR was not really that aware. And that's perfectly normal for HR. They can be not aware of like every single issue that happens and they can change it. This involves, of course, having open discussions with HR, providing clear examples of the challenges they face and suggesting specific policy changes. Why do I say this? Because it is easier to be constructive than rather just start a fight. Sometimes if you are very constructive, explain very clearly what's happening, HR, they'll do whatever it's in their power to change it.
And I think that's part of knowing that you're working with a great company is that the company is willing to adapt their policies. And I feel like that's what's happening at Revolut. I would say we're a fairly new company at almost 9 years old, but seeing how we're willing to adapt our policies and how we're constantly evolving to try to improve them, this is what I think every company should be doing. How are you continuously trying to improve the lives of your employees?
Exactly. The fact that Revolut has this fast-paced environment, it's positive for their internal policies. It's positive also for HR because they understand that this is the Revolut way. We have to change things. And if there is a problem, we fix it. That's it.
Yeah. Get it done.
Get it done. Yeah, exactly.
Well, João, I have to ask you, it's June, it's Pride Month. What does Pride and Pride Month, let's say, mean to you?
Well, for me, Pride Month is basically a celebration of diversity and inclusion. It's a reminder of the importance of being your true self and supporting others in their journey towards acceptance and equality. It's a time to also reflect on the challenges we have overcome and continue advocating for the rights and acceptance of the LGBTQIA plus community. Because sometimes people in Pride, they think everything has been achieved. We've reached it. But perhaps you may have reached it in your country and there's still perhaps some stuff to change, but you've reached mostly the overall goal. But in other countries, they haven't.
Or they're going backwards.
So having a nice Pride June, like celebrating Pride with all your heart really showcases also support to other countries, support to other situations that might happen and might affect other people, So for me, Pride Month is really about advocating. I just really think it's important for us to show our support. Coming from Portugal, my country is one of the best countries in terms of laws for LGBTQIA plus people, but I've worked in other countries where it wasn't that way. And I just think it's important for us to also lend our knowledge and support so they can also improve as quick as possible.
Definitely. Well, I just have one more question for you, João. What advice would you give to yourself when you were just starting out in your career?
Well, perhaps trust my abilities, be more confident, and listen to my ADHD therapist, because that would have changed a lot of things. I would have been more focused.
Have you been taking the advice now?
Yes. Now I'm taking a lot of advice.
Good. Okay, great. Well, João, thank you so much for being on the show today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure.
And for those listening, thank you. And you can make sure to add the Insider Podcast to your favorites so you don't miss an episode. And follow us on Instagram at Revolut Insider. Thanks for tuning in to the Revolut Insider Podcast, where we explore Revolut's rocket ship from the inside out. Until next time, remember, the sky is not the limit. It's just the beginning. Revolut. Change the way you money.